Good day everyone, welcome to today's video. Today it's another subscriber replay sent in by Jane Prawn. And today he was in his KV-1B756R. Now, this tank's a bit of a weird one for me. I don't see many of these anymore. When I first started playing War Thunder, I saw these things like they were going out of style. But, I mean, it's not a bad heavy tank from what I've been able to assess. At 5.0, it's got the same gun as the Panzer IV-H, which is not a bad gun. And the armor is actually pretty trollish in most areas. However, Jane Prawn has had one too many encounters with, let's say, bullshit shots. Once he had a Jumbo Sherman hit him right here, which penetrated and killed everyone in his tank. Even I don't know how it killed everyone in his tank. It should have only killed the turret crew. But hey, American bias, I guess. So the frontal armor is basically exactly the same as the KV-1 ZIS, with 25mm segments being added throughout. The side armor is exactly the same. Rear armor is exactly the same. It's just a turret that's changed, and with a weak spot on the commander's cupola. Personally, if you're engaged in a KV-1B and you can't get a sufficient side shot or you can't pen the side, go here or go for the commander's hatch. Yes, you've got a big ass fuel tank, which will, let's be honest, it's basically a Russian tank. It will probably soak up your shot, but it should be able to penetrate the fuel tank. If not, go for that commander's hatch and you should be able to explode a shell inside. Attacking this thing from above with aircraft is quite difficult to do because it's got 40mm of top armor, 30mm of top armor here. That's quite difficult. Here it's 40, so potentially you could overmatch this. But I severely doubt it. The gun itself, well, if you've ever driven a Panzer IV-H, you've basically driven this thing with its gun. Obviously it's KV-1, which is a lot quicker, but it is a nice tank overall. I do have trouble taking out this tank personally. But anyway, let's get into the replay. Now, unfortunately, Jane Prawn experiences what I like to call parent annoyance. And what I mean by that is, his lovely game in his KV-1 gets ruined by parents, calling him away because something's got to be done. I know the feeling, mate. I have it all the time. The amount of times I've had to redo recordings because of it is unbelievable. But, yeah. I know exactly how you feel. Trust me. Now, Jane Prawn obviously starts off in his KV-1B. However, this thing has an unusually loud engine, so I'm just going to turn down the engine volume. That's better. Okay, so. Now, the first few minutes are just him driving, so I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. Don't get me wrong, this tank's pretty quick. But I'd rather not waste people's time of just watching Jane Prawn race some geezers in his heavy tank, because he's only doing 10 on this ridge here. Now obviously you can tell Jane Prawn has been busy in the customization, because he's got what appears to be a hat on top of his commander's cupola. I'll have to investigate everything else once we've done a replay. He takes a smack there and loses his loader, I believe that is. Which also somehow damages his transmission, which is behind the armoured engine compartment. Don't ask how that works. Not certain what smacked him, I think it was the M18. Well, one of them. You can see there he's got a couple of fuel tanks, probably to protect weak spots. That's a good idea, because the driver's port is pretty easy to penetrate on this thing, and so is the machine gun port. Oh, takes another smack there. Damages one of his radiators and wounds 2 of his crew members in the turret. That's fine. He doesn't get a kill, unfortunately, but never mind. He'll get some kills eventually, and he does get quite a few in this battle. But sadly, the old parent's distracting and being annoying, and he penetrates the Iron Duke there, which is basically a comet, if anyone didn't know. He spots this M18 here. Straight for the front, hull breaks it, because it's 75 AP. First kill for Jane Prawn. Good shot. To be fair, it's an M18, you can pen it with your machine gun, mate. Gets a lucky shot on the Iron Duke, because that thing's got a pretty trolley turret. Takes it out. Second kill. Now, Jane Prawn does go into the chat. Oh, here we go. We've already got Reptile DK going. Well, we've lost already because people haven't gone to A and all that crap. Barely anyone pushes A anymore, mate. I don't. I go C or B. C if I'm in a light or a tank destroyer, or B if I'm in a medium, light, or heavy. Jane Prawn being Jane Prawn, he appropriately responds. Now for some reason Jane Prawn's got beef with houses now. 1 minute it's balloons, next minute it's houses. Those little houses can provide some pretty sneaky cover. They're not solid cover, but there's something. So now I'm gonna have to take note of this. Jane Prawn's got beef with balloons, and now he's got beef with houses. As long as you don't have any beef with squirrels, mate, we'll be just fine. Oh dear. But yes, Jane Prawn does love his KV-1Bs, or 756R. He has quite a lot of premiums. I have quite a few, but most of them I earned. I mean, if Gaijin's going to offer me a chance to get a free vehicle, I will gladly take it. My most recent premium, however, will be featured in a video soon. Just an overview, at least. No spoilers, but all I'll say is it's American. That's all I am going to say. That's the only hint you're getting. And if you try to... In fact, I think the only person that knows what I... Well, in fact, no, there's 2 people who know I got. One of them's Jane Prawn, and the other is Dark Angel. As was my mother, but that doesn't count. Because I was making the purchase on my personal card, and my mother just happened to walk in. She was like, "What are you buying now, Joe?" And I said, "Premium, got 50% discount on it." She was like, "Alright, go ahead, how much is it?" £3. Might as well. And I could use it in my Seal Clubbing M22 Locust lineup, so that's even better. Oh shoot, that was another hint, wasn't it? Now Jane Prawn just rushes shot a little bit here. He hits T-25 straight in the engine, takes out the... I think that's a commander. But the T-25 goes for the barrel shot, which is quite cheeky. I reckon he tried to go for the 50mm armor that's around the barrel, which is a good smart maneuver. Jane Prawn appears to have also gotten his crew member back when I wasn't noticing in the cap circle. He marks the T-25, and he's actually got a pretty good repair crew on this thing. It doesn't take him very long to get his barrel back up. But now he's just got to wait and hope that the T-25 doesn't get his engine back before he gets his barrel back, because otherwise that is going to be a very nasty day. Luckily though, Jane Prawn has a better crew. Silent hull of a T-25, it's very weak. 4th kill. And I forgot to mention he capped the zone as well. There's a jumbo there. Oh, it's 76. Come on, Jane Prawn. It's hitting the engine block. Why shoot the 76 jumbo? It's a nice tank. It bounced off him. side of a jumbo's 38mm stick on that spot. 5th kill, there's your ace. Well done. Shame really, because in a normal fight, the 76 jumbo would most likely kick this tank's arse. But because the driver didn't see Jane Prawn and he drove outside on, Jane Prawn was always going to win that engagement. But Jane Prawn has a very few loves in this game. One being this tank, the other being his TAR 154. We was mucking around with custom battles the other night at the time of this recording, and I brought out the TV3, funnily enough, and I shot down his HE-162 jet fighter, which I thought was pretty funny. He loses track here to that Sherman. Now, I'm not certain how that ricocheted, but it did. America. Sherman screws up his shot. Jane Prawn doesn't penetrate. I don't know how. I wouldn't have survived that shot in my bloody Sherman 76 for the M4A2. The M4A2 wasn't a great 76 Sherman for me, but it was average. I preferred the M4A1 and the M4A3 over it though. But anyway, he didn't get the assist unfortunately, but that's Gaijin's assist system for you. He's now going to wait for his track to come back, and then he'll be good to go. Takes a smack in the rear of the turret. It's an M4A2. I think it's a 76. Yes, it is. And there's also a jumbo. That 76 Sherman was playing far too aggressively. Jane Prawn lines up a very well aimed shot. In a second, you'll see it. He goes slightly to the left, gets it bang on target, pulls the trigger straight through the MG port. Perfect shot. Cracking shot there, mate. 7th kill, because obviously he killed the M4A2. That was an amazing shot. I would have probably struggled getting that shot myself, but German guns are pretty accurate, so you can do that. Well done to you. Question is though, ladies and gentlemen, is he going to get a double ace? Well, we'll find out. However, we are unfortunately approaching the moment where Jane Prawn gets called away. I hate to laugh about it, but I get this all the time as well. I think a plane just strafed them then. I'm not certain what plane it was, but whatever. M19 SPAA there. I don't particularly like that thing. And here comes a field day. M19. Straight for the front, full brake, 8th kill. M10 tank destroyer right there. Bounces off, he will get that decision. 9th kill. And there's an M16 half track. Jane Prawn's obviously noticed it, it's an M16, it's not going to stand a chance against a KV. He tries to run away, which Jane Prawn leads that shot horribly. Does damage the optics on that thing, I guess. I don't know what plane that was, but that's American, so it might have been a P-40 or something. I didn't really look. Either way, his flying sucks. But unfortunately, I believe it is at this point where Jane Prawn gets called away. Yes, it is. This is the part where Jane Prawn gets called away. And unfortunately, I'm going to skip ahead because nothing happens other than him getting taken out by a Jackson. And there's a Jackson kill. Straight through the side of the turret. It's a Jackson. It'll always do that. Now, of course, Jane Prawn returns at around this moment. That's why I put on 4 speed. And he brings in his Hitler Bolt. So sadly, he didn't technically get the double ace in the KV. But even so, that's just unfortunate. We're gonna kill this P-47 though. That I can remember. I believe. I'm gonna be a bit of a doofus if I've forgotten. But the old Hitler Bolt, I've been wanting to get this thing for a while. It's just... Yes, it goes on to German teams and all that. But I remember the spam when this thing had its air spawn. And there was at least 3 to 4 Hitler Bolts on each team. It was an absolute nightmare. It honestly was. It was a horrible, horrible time to fly anything Allied. And I was spayed in the MB-152 heavy bomber for the French. And I encountered swarms of these things. You'd get P-47s helicoptering for you. But in the MB-162, I don't know why I said 152. I think I said 152 anyway. MB-162 is what I meant. You would get, well, it has a very good climb rate for a heavy bomber. So with that, you could utilize that. And luckily, the P-47s only spawned at an intercept altitude, so they wouldn't be able to climb hard enough on most maps in order to intercept you in the MB-162. But hey, the days of air spawning P-47s are over, thankfully. I believe Jane Prawn does get a kill in his P-47 Hitler Bolt. But it was so funny to just see P-47 stalling out, trying to get to you. And they would just fail because they would stall out long before getting to your MB-162. There are very few bombers that can actually do that. B-25s cannot. The MB-162 can, somehow. You just go stick your nose up at around a 10 to 15 degree angle and that thing will climb like a boss. He takes a bit of damage here. He's slightly leaking some fuel. And there's an SPA which I still need to review. M15A1. But as you can see here, it works pretty well. Yes, it died. But to be fair, it's 850 cals from a Hitler Bolt. But of course, that is the second death for Jane Prawn. And of course, his engine's on fire. He's going to have to hope to put this thing down, but unfortunately his pilot burns to death before he could land it. But don't worry. He does bring in his precious other baby. The TA-154. But it doesn't get to do anything interesting in it. That's pretty much the end of the battle anyway. But yeah. Well done to you, Jane Prawn. That was a very good game. Just... I know the feeling, buddy. I get it all the time as well. Parents distracting you and just getting on your nerves, and you lose vehicles because of it. The amount of times I've lost vehicles because of it is unbelievable. But hey, you made the best of a good situation. 9 kills in the KV, 1 kill in the P-47, and at least you got to show off your precious baby, the TAR. Anywho, that's it for today, and I'll catch you on the next one.